Hello everyone, welcome back for some more Great Ace Attorney. We are continuing with the trial as things are, I'm not going to say they're heating up. We're still kind of at the beginning, right? It's going to take a bit. We haven't even investigated a second time yet. Let's go. Mr. Naruhodo, what on earth were you just playing at just now? Or rather, what on earth were you playing at all along? My hypothesis! My amazing hypothesis! You've been picking holes in it from the start! I'm sorry about that, but you promised me. You said you'd prove that dratted explosion was an accident, not murder. You said you'd keep my precious invention from falling into anyone else's hands. But all you've done so far is try to undermine me. No, I'm trying to keep you out of jail, dude. Yes, I did make you a promise, you're right. I said that I'd believe in you and fight for your freedom to the very end. But I also told you I was no scientist. I don't understand your hypothesis. The fact is, there's an undeniable flaw in your logic, isn't there, Professor Hairbrain? I just run through some equations. Yes, you see, it's because my work is incomplete. Perhaps it is. Nevertheless, the man died as a consequence, didn't he? Oh no! You're right. You're so right. It's all my fault. And I have no right to blame you for my failures. I'm a disaster, not just as a scientist, but as a human being. Well, I might be a little over the top. And while we're on the subject, what about Baroque? He's being awful. Claiming his old university friend to be a murderer, you mean? He's a disaster, not just as a prosecutor, but as a human being. Oh, but no, wait, he's a Reaper, isn't he? Perhaps he's not classified as Homo sapiens anymore. Okay. Can we find out where this guy got his education? We should go check out that place. Glad that's cleared up. Can I double check something with you? Ah, yes, what? Machining demonstration you prepared. They were based entirely on your hypothesis, I presume. There was no trickery involved? Is he going to be like, well, I drew the plans for the machine with my very own hands. Every line was painstakingly drawn with the firm belief that science is the only future. Yeah. No such thing as magic in this world. Oh yes, it's true that my hypothesis hasn't reached maturity yet, but please, Mr. Naruhodo, you must believe in it. All right, well, Professor, I understand.
Counsel, defendant. The prosecution's witnesses are ready to take their stand. Court is about to be in session again. Make your way to the courtroom, please.
Do we know the witnesses? It all hinges on that demonstration. If the professor's hypothesis is sound as he claims, it leaves him as the only person who could possibly have killed the victim. But on the other hand, Mr. Sholmes was adamant. A practical implementation, such as the attempt by the Professor of the Great Exhibition, was quite impossible. So really, what should I be trying to prove here? Well, 23rd of October, 11 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom.
With the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby reconvene the proceedings of this court. Counsel for the defense and prosecution, are you ready for the new witnesses to testify?
The prosecution is ready, my lord. As is the defense, my lord.
So, Lord Van Zinks, I believe these next witnesses saw the demonstration of the day in question with their own eyes.
Indeed they did. And as luck would have it, one of them is a police detective. Oh? Okay, well that sounds like our friend. So the testimony we are about to hear can be considered highly reliable. Well, they were both there. Perfect. A detective of all people. The prosecution's stance remains unchanged. What ended in tragedy, the demonstration on the day in question was scientifically sound. And consequently, the sole person with the opportunity to have committed this act of murder is the only other individual to have been present on the stage at the time, the accused.
Thank you, counsel. The prosecution's position is clear. So bring forth your witnesses now.
Bailiff, show the witnesses in. The witnesses whose proximity to the incident and the day in question will clarify the truth unequivocally. I hate that word. Unequivocally. Oh! Okay. Okay, Gina, we know you, yes? Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court to hear. My name is Balthazar Lune. I am the impresario of the all of the hot air balloons in vicinity of the experimento stage. Oh, my name is Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigmund Ornstein. Oh, no. He's a little German boy. No, little German boy, don't go by all the blunt and smoking. I have come to see the great exhibit all the way from my home in Bohemia. Oh, little balloon. Little German boy with the little balloon. I'm very rich. Inspector Gene Lestrade, Scotland Yard. I'm a great detective. Even Airlock Sholmes agrees. I was on security duty at the exhibition, and I got to go up in one of them balloons. It was amazing. Gina, again. But she did mention that she'd seen the disaster from up in the balloon, actually, didn't she? And she clearly loved every minute of it. There were 3 balloons flying near the public experimentation stage when the incident occurred. 2 of these witnesses were in one such balloon at the time and saw events unfold from the skies above. Oh, you make it sound like they were in the clouds. It was only an altitude of circa 60 feet or very low. Well, you can't see nothing if you fly too high, can you? 60 feet, about 18 meters then.
Thank you for your introductions. Now, you will give your formal testimony to the court. Kindly describe exactly what you witnessed, especially those of you who had a vantage point above the stage.
All right. It's a little German boy. Oh, it was an incidente terribile. Incidente terribile. I don't know. You think I know Italian? Oh my god. I am grateful that my balloons were not damaged. Oh, there's this huge bang from the stage, and then in the next second, another bang in the sky beside us. When from amid the smoke, a cage appeared out of nowhere. Oh, the cage! It fell from the sky like a stone and crashed into the crystal tower. I didn't get a good look inside the cage, but no one went near it after it crashed near the tower. These accents. It's gonna kill me.
The most extraordinary collective amount of accents, really, I must say.
Can I just clarify something? There's a detail in the witness's testimony that I've not heard any mention of until now. Specifically, that there were 2 explosions? More precisely, 2 explosions in 2 separate places, yes. When the demonstration began, the balloon carrying the 2 witnesses was around here. There were other balloons in the air nearby at the time, carrying other passengers as well, to be clear. So was he just like in one of the balloons and it crashed? And the guy in the inside was fake, and because it was an explosion, he was made of wax, he just melted? Is that what it's gonna be? That he was in one of the balloons up there, and then, yeah. I wonder. Then, As the power supplied to the machine for the demonstration, the first explosion occurred. The so-called birdcage that contained the victim disappeared from the stage, and a moment later, the second explosion occurred directly adjacent to the balloon carrying the witness. The birdcage appeared at the site of the explosion, subsequently to plummet down to the crystal tower. I was very surprised. Suddenly a cage appeared before my eyes with a person inside. The blast was so hot, but I didn't want to miss a thing, so I kept my eyes wide. But what happens when he runs out of balloons? I still have lots of money.
Oh, good heavens. Precisely. Who is this curious infant?
I'm waiting for us to go check, and he's going to be like, I am 45 years old. Oh, I'm Bohemian boy. I am 11 years old. Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigmund Ormstein. Balthazar Lune, 42. We got French, we got Italian, we got 2 Germans. Man, it's a literally worldwide plaza. I'm told he is a young noble of Bohemian royalty. Apparently, he disguised himself in order to steal unnoticed into the Great Exhibition. Yeah, I'm here in London on a sightseeing trip with my elementary school. We will have the benefit of a child's point of view in the testimony. Yeah, because if there's one thing kids don't do, it's lie and embellish. You know, unlike everyone else in this court. Do we really need that? When I've removed my mask, this is what I look like.
Oh, yes, I see a delightful face, I'm sure.
Yeah, everybody says so. Great disguise, then. And the point is, the testimony of these witnesses further substantiates the facts for the court. Namely, that despite ending in an explosion, instantaneous kinesis was successfully demonstrated. And furthermore, that until the arrival of the police, no one approached the crystal tower where the victim fell. Therefore, only the accused who was with Mr. Assman on the stage could have possibly committed the murder.
Yes, thank you, counsel. The prosecution's views of the matters are quite clear. So, the defense cross-examination now, please.
Yes, my lord. Even though I think I already figured it all out. But first, let's deal with the little German boy. Oh, if it was an accident, terrible. I'm only grateful that my balloons were not damaged. I'm just doing the Mario voice now. There were 3 balloons flying above the experimentation stage at the time, I understand. See, all 3 of them, my bellissimi bambini. Oh, they're very popular, signor. Some people would pay £10 for one ride. £10? That's more than my annual stipend. £20 a month. That is my pocket money. Rose have all the luck. I got up there for free, I did. Played the old I work for Her Majesty's police card, you know. Detectives have all the luck. If they're so popular, why would you only be operating such a small number of balloons, though? Oh, because if I have too many in disguise, they would crash into each other. The operators for the balloons were decided by lots, with each operator manning a particular area. See, and the zone above public experimentation stage is the most profitable. The other impresarios, they hate me.
Thank you, witness. I think the court has a clear picture of your accent and the arrangements for balloon rides at the exhibition. Perhaps we can hear more about what you actually witnessed in the incident.
Right, I can fill you in there, my lord. Alright, there's this huge bang from the stage, and the next second another bang in the sky beside us. What's up? So you actually saw the accident happen from up in the air? Yep, ain't it amazing what a detective gets to do, eh? I'm telling you, Odo, being a lawyer's a mug's game. You should join the force and we can go flying together. You know me so well. Yes, well, anyway. Could you tell us exactly what you saw, do you think? Everything! We saw everything because we were up above it all. All that dodgy cove climbing into the cage and that dodgy professor pulling all them levers? That's when it happened. That's when there was this massive bang and the cage disappeared just like that.
You are describing the moment the subject's body was decomposed by the electricity, I believe.
I didn't know what to make of it. And there was another bang right in me ear. I looked round and there was a huge great fireball right next to us in the sky. And there was nothing there before. A little German boy sucking your thumb. What's up?
Excuse me.
Master Gotts. Master Gotts. Does your memory of the day differ? My teacher at elementary school said that when you meet someone for the first time, you should always use their full name. Ah, yes, Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigmund Ormstein. just the four names then? The point is, do you have something to say? Something to add in response to Detective Gina Lestrade's last remark, perhaps? Oi, get it right, Odo. It's Inspector Lestrade. I have no problem with how I address him at the moment. That is not what I saw. Oh. Yeah, there was a second explosion and it was right beside our balloon, that is true. Oh, but I'm sure... Which is what I said, isn't it? 1 minute there was nothing there, the next a massive explosion. My teacher at elementary school said that when someone else is speaking, if you are rude enough to interrupt, you will have the most awful life imaginable. Well, Bohemians brought up to be so full of joy. Please, another little balloon. Just before the second explosion happened next to our balloon, I clearly witnessed a great green balloon flying in the sky. A green balloon? What? You what? I never saw nothing like that. Well, I did. I saw it, and you can't say I didn't. I will complain to the council. I will cry and scream. My testimony is the truth. I am a Bohemian prince. You cannot say it's a lie. That is not allowed. I ain't a blatant royalty card, are you? Typical. Says the orphan who likes to remind people she works for Her Majesty's police. This is a silly group. I like them.
But in that case, young man, I must ask you to amend your formal testimony with the interest of cordial national relations between Great Britain and Bohemia.
Okay, am I stupid? Is Bohemia a real thing? Or is that like a made-up country, like the fake country that was in Ace Attorney before? Is that's not, it wasn't Bohemia, right? Bohemia. What is Bohemia? Am I stupid? It is... Okay. Western and most and largest historical region of the Czech Republic. Okay. Okay. Bordered by Upper and Lower Austria, West Bavaria in Germany. Oh, so a little bit of it's okay. So it's like an area that is a common. It's in the middle of several countries. Okay, right? Yeah, it's like a couple countries. What area is it today? Mostly the Czech Republic. Okay. Why I type in Bohemia and it gives me latest Punjabi songs 2024? That's very confusing. Okay, so yeah, it's the upper half of the Czech Republic, bordering Germany, Poland, Austria. Okay. There we go. Right, that makes sense. What was the fake Ace Attorney country? It was called Borginia. Borginia. That's the one that was made up there. Yeah, Borginia. Right? Oh, and Borginia is also in Dino Crisis. Right. Okay. I forgot that it's in a bunch of games there. It was not in the sky that exploded. It was a green balloon that was next to us at the time.
Hold it!
Tell me more. A green balloon, you say? You sure about that? Of course I am sure. I'm proud Bohemian Prince. All these questions are making me boring. Well, you're in court, kiddo. You mean bored? Ah, English is very annoying. The language of my countrymen is far superior. Ragazzo, it is very wrong to tell a lie. Huh? What's your relationship with these two, then? Lie? Flying balloons never explode. For the same reason the planets never explode. It is logical. Please tell me that doesn't mean logical. If you insult me, you insult all of Bohemia. Ma dai. I will have the army come and shoot all of your stupid balloons out of the sky. All of them. Here you are, your highness. No, this guy's like a royal advisor or something. This guy, he's got to be related to him in some way. Only all international incidents were so easily resolved. Now that peaceful relations have been restored here in the courtroom, perhaps we could return to the testimony. Did you also see the moment that the cage materialized, Mr. Lune? No, I did not see the esplosione myself, however. Oh, the cage, it fell from the sky like a stone. It crashed into the crystal tower. Did you see that actually happen? No, in reality, I did not. I saw after it hit the tower. There was a grand confusion around the stage. I had to see what happened. I was terrorized by the idea that one of my balloons had crashed. I suppose they are his livelihood. But when I looked up at the sky, all of my precious balloons were still there. I saw it, though. I saw it slam into the tower. After all, I'm a detective now. And tell us what you saw, Inspector Lestrade. That's what I like to hear. I didn't get a good look inside the cage, but no one went near it after it crashed into the tower. Eh? Was it you who gave the order to keep people away? I use it head, Odo. How could it have been me? I was up in the balloon, weren't I? Right. Because I wasn't available, it was the boss who had to lag it over there. I was getting shoved and kicked all over by the panicking spectators as he tried to sail off the scene. It was a real sight to behold, I can tell you. Amazing. Or Inspector Gregson. So anyway, I couldn't see the cage that well because of all that smoke. And I didn't really want to see, to be honest. I was scared out of my wits. Keep it together, Inspector. It's kind of your job now. The prosecution really is asserting the demonstration was genuine, but what if it was actually some kind of switch-around trick instead? That would mean that the victim was never actually on stage in the first place. The two explosions would have thrown everyone watching into panic for sure. I think I need to find out more about what exactly people saw at the time. But yeah, it's definitely going to be... Everyone's looking up at the thing, right? It was the green balloons that exploded. Yeah. Oh! You mean like this? Right? Hmm. My only thought... I don't know if that's a contradiction, though. That's like an agreement sort of thing, right? So, let's just see here. If I were to... Okay, so... Huge bang, the next second another bang in the sky beside us. Page fell. So we're trying to find a way. It was a green balloon that exploded next to ours at the time. Holding crossbow. That probably was what made the explosion. Is it this?
Objection.
No, see that's because that's not a contradiction. Right? That's just pointing out that yes, we have something to prove that it was there, right? Yeah. Let's see here. Maybe we go back and we just don't we don't do the thing there. How do we fast forward again? What's the fast forward button? What's the fast forward button in this game? Oh, just hold B, right. I'm thinking of other visual novels. Anyways, yeah, let's just continue here. I look around, there was a huge great fireball right next to us and there was nothing there before. And what appears out of the flames? The cage, that's what.
But that description sounds like the moment after the man was beamed instantaneously through space.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it? Well, that's the 20th century for you, I reckon. People actually saw the demonstration with their own eyes. Really believe they saw something miraculous taking place. Okay. It's gotta be with this. It was not the sky that exploded. Yeah. It was a little green balloon. I don't think there's anything in here for that. A weapon found. Seeing it where it exploded. Beam to the crystal tower. Right? Vertebrae. Hemorrhage to the heart. This?
Objection.
No. No. I'm actually kind of stuck here. Unless it's another thing. Didn't get a good look inside, but no one went near it after it crashed into the tower. No one went near it. No proof of that. Cage fell from and crashed into the tower. Not the sky that exploded. There's another huge bang, another second, another bang. Sharp implement, vertebrae, considerable height.
Objection.
No. I thought where it's... Yeah, no. Oh! Frick! I just skipped this one. What do you mean none of the balloons were damaged? We now have proof. Frick! I didn't mean to do that. Of course. Oh, of course that makes sense. Right? It's like... He's like, none of the balloons were damaged. We literally know there is now. That's where it is. Okay. I was like looking through and I'm like really thinking about all the evidence. I went back to this one and I'm like, it's not going to be the first one. And it totally was. We know it now for sure.
Objection.
Right there. Mr. Lune, in your testimony, or is it be Loon? How do you say, like, would it be, I think it's just Loon in Italian, right? I don't know. I don't freaking. You said that all three of the balloons you had operating at the time were undamaged. Oh, see, that is correct. If they had been caught in the explosiones, it would have been terrible. I wonder, you might know what this is. I think it might be see, part of a balloon. A burnt piece of the fabric of the envelope. Sorry, the envelope? Oh, pardon. But that is a large round part of the balloon which becomes filled with hot air. It is made from very thick fabric lined with rubber. You do not want to rip it when you are... You do not want it to rip when you are in the sky. Just as I thought. A piece of cloth was found near the experimentation stage. In other words, as Master GOTT testified, a green balloon did indeed explode that day. Oh! That was a bad noise for me. Oh my god. If all the balloons in the sky above the experimentation stage belong to you, Mr. Loon, and you're oh, Loon. Loon, balloon. Oh, then your statement that they were all undamaged clearly contradicts the evidence. No! If a balloon exploded that day, why didn't the man say so? Well, maybe everyone on board was killed. Oh no, haven't just spent 10 old pounds for the experience. Oh, seems some of your things crash 50% already. Instantaneous kinesis did occur. But after the explosion on the stage, the point of materialization shifted to a location occupied by a balloon.
Causing the balloon to explode? Yes, eminently plausible.
Unfortunate traffic accident, as it were. But it changes nothing about the pertinent facts. Hi, who is in the balloon?
Oh, this I cannot accept.
Why not, Mr. Loon?
You are suggesting that I am a liar. The persons died in the balloon incidente.
There's no need to get fired up, Mr. Loon. The victim was the sole fatality that day.
That's right, and I prove it. Balthazar Loon is not a liar.
Oh, Balthazar Loon, I get it.
There is no such balloon in the sky. It is non possibile.
You're saying it's impossible? Why? This court has more important matters to discuss than the number of balloons that were operating that day.
Objection.
But we can't ignore the fact that nobody appears to have known anything about this other balloon until now. My lord, the defense calls for further testimony from Mr. Loon.
I concur. There is clearly more to the truth here than meets the eye. It's imperative that we clear up the issue of this phantom balloon, I feel. Witness, you will give supplementary testimony about the balloons you were operating at the exhibition.
Oh, grazie, my lord.
Tell me more about your balloons, Mr. Loon's balloons.
As I said, the Balthazar Loon is no liar. For every balloon I had in the sky landed safely. All 3 of my balloons were carrying passengers. If they fell to the ground in an explosione, what a catastrophe! I don't know how to pronounce that.
Well, you can't get away from the fact that a burnt-up bit of cloth was found at the scene, can you? The coppers at the yard reckon it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on the stage.
This stupido ragazzo is mistaken. My balloons have a blue and red zigzag stripes anyway.
So your assertion is that the balloon this child saw was not one belonging to you?
Si, exactamente. If he even saw a balloon in the first place. I do not like the sound of it. It is very bad for business. I have a good mind to sue the land of Bohemia.
If you attack us, we will fight back. It will be war. All out war. Sends him a post to all out war. I should know. You know, no, I'm not making these jokes. No, not. It starts as jokes and then it becomes real. We're not doing this.
Oh, little boy, please do not talk about war again. Thank you. It is so nasty.
What happened to that all-out war? It was war, thank God. Mr. Loon certainly doesn't appear to be lying. But that doesn't change the fact that the testimony and evidence are contradictory here. If the defense is unable to find fault with the witnesses' statements, the court must consider them the truth. Think long and hard on that, my learned friend. The situation has clearly changed now. I have to get to the bottom of what happened here, no matter what it takes.
Counsel, you may now cross-examine the witnesses.
Will do. Alright, let's see here.
As I said, the Balthazar Loon is no liar. Every balloon I had in the sky landed safely. We have evidence against that, but
talk to me. You couldn't just have forgotten one, maybe?
Signor. I might not notice if I was given 100 lentils and one I was missing. But we are talking about 3 enormous balloons. Do you believe I could have mistaken something so grand and expensive?
I took the liberty of having Inspector Gregson check this gentleman's warehouse. I have the report here. It clearly says a total of 3 balloons.
It would appear no mistake has been made then.
Surely Ms. Lestrade could have been sent for such a menial task. What, mate? You think I can count to 3? I'll tell you what I told the boss. Okay, cool. Thank you for taking my job game. I love it when you... I actually love it. I love it when the game does this for me. Hey, stand kids like me can only count to 2. Obviously that ain't true, but the boss spotted it and said he'd have a go himself in that case. Okay.
All three of my balloons were carrying passengers and they fell to the ground in an explosion. What a catastrophe!
It would be quite a catastrophe if they fell to the ground for any reason, I think. On that note, Mr. Loon, tell me, what is it that keeps these balloons in the sky? Is it magic? Is there an Omnioji up there casting Shinto spells?
Are you an idiota?
Sorry. I don't speak Spanish.
Oh, that is like asking, why does a candle burn bright? It burns bright because it burns bright, and a balloon flies because it flies. What else?
Okay, that must be Italian for I don't know. There are two types of flying balloons, hot air balloons and gas balloons. Hot air balloons work on the principle of hot air being less dense than cold air, whereas gas balloons derive their lift by using a gas that is lighter than air.
Oh, see, and my balloons are filled with the magic gas, I believe.
Hydrogen. Lighter than air, but I was gonna say, that's bad. No wonder they exploded if you're flying freaking hydrogen balloons. That's what the Hindenburg was, right? Lighter than air, but highly explosive.
Good lord!
I do not permit the smoking of cigarettes in my balloons. Magic gas does not like a fire.
Even a small spark of static electricity could cause the entire balloon to explode.
What is the matter with you, senor? All that comes out of your mouth is explosione, explosione. I tell you, my balloons are perfectly safe. They have to be, or I cannot eat. None of my balloons exploded that day, I am completely sure.
That those ones just did.
But if what you say is what happened, then you must show me proof.
Alright, so Mr. Loon had 3 balloons in the air that day. If none of them were damaged, then what was that one that exploded? Look straight at the camera. I don't like when he does that. Well, I can't get away from the fact that a bit of cloth was found at the scene, can ya? Kinda true. I was surprised to find the piece of fabric still at the scene, actually. Didn't you search the area surrounding the stage for clues? Oh, no. Not in picking stuff off the ground, mate. Oh, are you too good for that now? Always works out way better diving into people's pockets instead. Oh, okay, well that makes sense. So much for the new career path. Mind you, the boss was on his hands and knees picking up all kinds of rubbish from the floor. Thing is, though, the cage went crashing into the Crystal Tower, didn't it? That's where most of the investigating was going on. Even so, I would have thought someone from Scotland Yard would have gathered it up as evidence. Cool. Listen to you, you stumble across a bit of balloon and selling you the best investigator in the world. Pardon? Well, you ain't got a badge, have you? Like this one? I could arrest you with it if I want to. I wouldn't put it past her. Let me think of it. There was talk of some scorching on the ground at the meeting we had about the investigation. Oh. The coppers at the yard reckoned it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on the stage. I don't think there's anything on the stage that would do that. There was considerable damage to the stage and surrounding area, wasn't there? Yeah, some of the calves what were watching the experiment were caught in the blast and injured. Good job the old contraption didn't keel over, eh? I hadn't even considered that. It seems there was a great panic after the incident occurred. Nevertheless, the police shouldn't have missed a torn piece of the envelope from a balloon. Inspector Gregson can expect repercussions. Oh, like me swiping all these fish and chips, eh? Man's sole pleasure.
None of this matters. The scrap of balloon envelope means nothing. Niente. Oh, this stupid little ragazzo is mistaken. My balloons have the blue and red and blue zigzag stripes anyway.
I feel like there's something that proves that this isn't the case. I feel like there's something that proves it. Okay, well, let's just talk to him here. Let's go press. What's up? You mean the color is wrong?
Oh, si, signor. I do not have any green balloons in my warehouse. Wait a sec. Can we dust that off and it's the right color under it? I bet you. I bet you. And yet, a piece of green cloth was found at the scene. It's unmistakably from a balloon. Well, I do not know how that can be. For the sake of argument, let's say a green balloon did explode above the stage. You couldn't therefore conclude it happened on the day in question. Why not? There have been recreational balloon flights over Hyde Park operating from before the Great Exhibition. One could have exploded on some earlier date. Unfortunate, as I'm sure you'd agree.
You believe it may have been from some earlier balloon accident that predates the exhibition?
See, exactamente. As the signore says, it is not from one of my balloons. Clearly this little ragazzo from Bohemia is mistaken about what he saw. Oh, the little fella doesn't like that.
Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Master GOTT? It's Master Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigmund Ornstein. It's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, something is very wrong. I know what I saw. There was a green balloon there. I swear it. I swear all over Bohemia. You speak as much bad language as you like. It changed nothing. If you do not have evidence, ragazzo, then I must tell your parents to punish you, eh? Perhaps we'll let the judge decide when it comes to punishments? Evidence? What is this evidence?
To give a simple example, young man, a photograph, for instance, some tangible proof of what you claim.
Well, why didn't you say so sooner? I have the photograph here.
Good gracious!
What? I have not been up in the balloon for... I had not been up in a balloon for a little while, so I was very excited. I took lots and lots of photographs of the Crystal Tower, of the Bohemia exhibit, of the streets of London, of the hot eel cellar. Hot eels? What? Hot eels? What? The balloon? And the instantaneous kinesis experiment? Did you take a picture of that? Yeah, one picture. Really? You did take one? But all I wanted was a ride on the balloon. I was not interested in boring experiments. Never mind that. Can you show us the photograph? Of course. And then you will see. You will see that I am not lying. That I really did see a green balloon. Why isn't color photo invented yet? Dang. Well, I see you're all too shocked to speak.
Yes, I think shocked is indeed the word, young man.
Yeah, perhaps you cannot see that it was a green balloon from this photograph, but that is not my fault. That is the fault of the stupid person who made the camera. Not the umlauts. Wah! Wah! That is one very bohemian sounding cry. Wah! Wah!
Very well, the court will accept this photograph as evidence.
Photograph added shows another balloon he claims was green. And we're literally... Wait, is it just me or is it actually shooting like a laser? It's not my fault. It's the fault of the person who made the camera. Oh. That's probably the arrow. Well, dang. All right, there we go. We see him there. We see what is clearly a wax model, probably. We see people. A lot of people, actually. We see a lady there. Smoke. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's clearly aimed straight ahead. Well, never mind. I'm sure you have plenty of wonderful
sepia memories to take home with you. In any case, when exactly did you take that photograph? Well, it was on the day of the big explosion. You don't say. When I pressed the shutter release, there was this very loud bang, and a hot wind rushed over my tiny German face. That means this photograph was taken a split second before the explosion occurred. Well, if you ask me, this black and white photograph changed nothing. I could not give the flying fig. Hey, buddy, language. We're in a public court. Lovely language you've picked up. As I thought, Mr. Loon's testimony just doesn't quite add up. The young bohemian boy claims to have seen another fourth balloon, but Mr. Loon vehemently denies the possibility, and it's hard to imagine the man in charge could be mistaken about that. Oh, I mean, well, we have it being shot right there, yeah. Still, his inconsistency must tell us something, I'm sure. Yeah, I know what to do here. We're going to go. Every balloon landed safely. If they landed, there'd be an explosion. Turned up in a cross. Okay, so I think it's this one. Because it's literally being shot right now. Let's save just in case, but... Save. Yeah. So we're gonna go... present.
Objection.
No? Oh, you know what? I bet you I need to actually... Well, no, I can examine it, right? I don't think I can. Wait. There's literally no one in that one.
Objection.
There's literally no one in that one. I didn't even notice that. Unfortunately, the photograph Master GOTT took can't tell us the color of the balloon, but it can tell us something else. Something crucially important. What? It shows that the pictured balloon wasn't carrying any passengers.
Oh, my goodness. You're right. But surely our balloons would have been carrying passengers. There'd be no sense in it otherwise.
Oh, see, they have a pleasure for seeing the sky. My balloons only fly with the passengers.
Which tells us that the pictured balloon isn't one of them. So, when the incident occurred that day, there was a fourth balloon in the skies above the experimentation stage. The mysterious green balloon.
I know nothing. Niente. I can only tell you one thing. If this balloon was not carrying passengers, then it was not one of mine.
Buddy, your bulbous orb is pulsating. There are illegal tradesmen everywhere you care to look. Clearly, one such entrepreneur decided to capitalize on the opportunity presented by the Great Exhibition and managed to operate balloon flights on Mr. Loon's patch without him realizing.
See, the competizione, trying to steal my profits. I did not notice because of the experimentation. No, I've been saying that wrong, I think. Experimento went wrong on the stage.
This fourth balloon exploded at the very same moment Mr. Assman was beamed from the stage below. Right, so them scraps that fell to the ground after and left them scorch marks. They didn't come from the stage at all, it was bits of the balloon raining down. But because no one was in it, it didn't get no attention. A mysterious fourth balloon carrying no passengers, silently floating all over the experimentation stage. This photograph shows us nothing more. A stray balloon carrying no one and operated by some rogue trader. Clearly it has nothing to do with the case.
Its relevance does elude me, I must say.
The court has sufficient evidence and heard ample testimony already. The prosecution calls for this trial to be concluded. Bro's just not even paying attention. None of them are. Really? Have we really got to the truth yet? No. I can't let this opportunity slip away. The jurors' minds are made up. Not in our favor, apparently. What else can this photograph tell us? Is there nothing more we can learn from it? There's more!
Objection.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, wait. Please don't give your decisions yet. This photograph from Master GOTT may well be hiding one more vital clue.
What's that? A vital clue?
We're well past the point of mere possibilities. It's time for definitives now. So tell the court. What exactly does the alleged clue in the photograph prove? The cause of the explosion? We can reasonably assume that the picture balloon was destroyed in the searing heat of the explosion.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. It was not my fault.
Evidently, because the birdcage from the kinesis machine materialized in the sky where it had been flying. And the balloon being filled with flammable hydrogen, instantly and explosively. If you've never seen a hydrogen explosion, it is some of the fastest, most violent explosions you'll ever see. I used to go to a Science World thing, and they would do regular things on the stage where it's like, all right, here's a hydrogen balloon, we're gonna pop it. And they pop it with like a candle on a stick, and like you would be sitting in the audience, and you would be blasted with heat so quickly. It was crazy.
Objection.
No, that's not what happened. What?
It would appear that this photograph requires closer examination. Counsel for the defense, you will highlight the location of this alleged clue in the photograph of this court.
Of course, my lord. If you look closely, it's plain enough to see that what's shown is linked to another piece of evidence we have, in a way that leads to an unbelievable conclusion. The clue that heavily suggests the real reason the balloon exploded is... well, yeah, it's the freaking... bam. Timing of this photograph can only be described as miraculous. If you look, you'll notice there's a bright white line that appears to point directly at the balloon. Most likely a ray of light caught incidentally on film.
I'm afraid I can see nothing of the sort.
If you look with magnifying glass, my lord, it becomes clear what the nature of this bright line really is. Wait, can you actually see with the magnifying glass?
Goodness, what is that?
Undeniably some flash of light, yes?
Oh, golly. Do you think it might be lightning?
But it couldn't have been a finer day. I believe we may be looking at fire! Bolt of fire, heading straight for the balloon like an arrow.
Indeed, even to my aging eyes, it would appear to be a flame of some sort. My word, are you suggesting this flame struck the hydrogen gas that filled the balloon?
That's absurd. The balloon would have been 60 feet above the ground at the time. No flame could possibly have reached such a height. Yeah, no. Actually, it's my opinion that a particular piece of evidence found at the scene reveals how exactly this did happen. What evidence?
If such evidence exists, counsel, then for goodness sake present it, man! What evidence explains this mysterious streak of flame that appears to be headed directly for it?
It's called a crossbow, and it's pretty cool.
Take that!
This was found hidden at the foot of a small ornamental tree near the scene.
Good lord, is that a crossbow?
An arrow dipped in oil and set alight could have been shot from this weapon, sending a flaming arrow straight into the hydrogen-filled balloon. Are you suggesting that crossbow was used to deliberately...
Blimey, you're right! That streak of light in the photograph looks just like an arrow, doesn't it?
Oh, then, the explosion of the balloon, it was, very likely the result of a flaming arrow from this crossbow igniting the hydrogen gas inside it.
No.
He's so small, little German boy.
Order, counsel. This is an extraordinary supposition.
The aim was to cause the balloon to explode. Shooter could have used a gun, of course. However, there's an obvious reason why that would have been out of the question. The noise of the discharge. Of course. That's right. By using a crossbow, the projectile could be fired at the balloon silently, or like, you'll just hear a bong, right? Which is like that'd be drowned out by the noise of the fairground. Well, yeah, if someone had shot a gun off of the exhibition grounds, it would have caused a real panic.
But with the big explosion, there was a very big panic anyway, no?
I don't like this. I should be pleased to have found a plausible new explanation for all this, but something feels wrong.
Objection!
You understand the implications of what you're saying, my Nipponese friend? If a flaming arrow did indeed hit the balloon, then obviously it would have exploded. And if the birdcage appeared from the cloud of smoke that ensued... Well, wait a minute. What are you really saying here? I don't get it. Was the birdcage beamed into the sky after all, or what?
My goodness me!
Oh, now I understand. That's what that sinking feeling is about. I think there's a good chance that the birdcage was actually concealed inside the balloon all along.
What? Did I just hear that correctly, Counsel?
There's no going back now. The horse has bolted. Yeah, let's assume, as I said, that the birdcage was hidden inside the green balloon from the start. On stage, when the experiment was started, the birdcage and the instantaneous kinesis machine disappeared in a cloud of smoke. At that moment, the flaming arrow was fired from the ground, causing the green balloon to explode and drawing the attention of the spectators to the sky above their heads. From amid the smoke, the hidden birdcage then appeared to fall down and crash into the crystal tower. I think you'll all agree it's entirely plausible. And what I've just described is the real truth behind the miraculous experiment carried out that day.
This... Good grief!
Objection!
This is ludicrous, what you've described as no science experiment. Yeah, there are con men, shady fellows in every practice, you've said it yourself. It's child's play, a contemptible display of stage magic. Both Mr. Sholmes and Iris said that experiment was a scientific impossibility, in which case this is the only way to explain what happened that day. And in any case, the victim's body was found inside the birdcage in the crystal tower. If the instantaneous kinesis didn't take place, how do you explain that?
If I may put in a word, as a man of magic myself, such apparent discrepancies can easily be explained by some simple deception.
Juror number 3, Waluigi.
All that would be needed is a doppelganger, someone who looked very similar to the victim, Mr. Assman. Wah! And having this other man appear on stage to front the show as a body double.
Yes, of course. So in fact, Mr. Assman must have been inside the birdcage that was concealed inside the balloon right from the start. That balloon would have been filled with hydrogen. Anything hidden inside it would have been scattered to the four winds when it exploded. No one would ever have embarked on such a risky venture.
Not necessarily. The explosive force of the balloon gas would very much depend on the mixture ratio.
Juror number 4, Mr. Scienceman.
Flying balloons are rarely filled with pure hydrogen, with a mix of other gases such as helium as well. Helium on its own doesn't explode, and by controlling the gas mixture ratio, the explosive force can be altered.
Mixture ratio?
Obviously, the victim's body would have suffered some burns that would have been unavoidable, but not to such an extent as to render this whole obscene charade impossible.
So everything that happened can be explained, logically and scientifically. The explosion that engulfed the stage at the start of the experiment was no accident. It was all part of an elaborate deception to make it appear that instantaneous kinesis had occurred.
Well, goodness me.
And if we accept that this is what happened, it means that the victim, Mr. Assman, was never present on the public experimentation stage to begin with. In short, he couldn't have been killed by the defendant, who was on stage in full view the entire time. Ugh. This will be very hard for the prosecution to counter. Lord Van Zieks can't credibly maintain that Professor Harebrain is a suspect now. Who? Oh my god, it's gonna be Harebrain himself, isn't it? Yep. Mr. Naruhodo, I appreciate your efforts. Thank you. Professor? But you can stop now. Just keep your mouth shut, please. Sorry? What's all this about, Mr. Harebrain? I, Albert Harebrain, hereby confess that it was me who stabbed Mr. Odie Assman. Yes, it was me, with my faithful friend and partner, Andrew the Screwdriver. What are you doing?
Order, order, order! Defendant, explain this sudden confession.
Mr. Harebrain, what are you talking about? It's what I said all along. I must protect my hypothesis and my precious machine. You stand there and claim it was all a trick? Or an elaborate prank, but where's your proof? Ashton Kutcher is right there! No, you'd have to... oh my god, I just realized that reference might not make sense to half my viewers anymore. No... Anyways, you'd have to examine the machine if you wanted to prove it, and it would all be over. My beautiful hypothesis would be laid bare. I mean, the indignity of it! It's clear that you drew the plans for the experiment, but you didn't actually build it. It's quite conceivable that you were duped, Professor. Well, just let me, I can prove... Baroque! Yes. I'll cooperate. I'll do whatever you say. I swear it. So please... ensure the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act is adhered to and protects my creation? Is he hiding something even worse in it or something? Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollowed chalice at this critical juncture. At least drink it, asshole. Here's to my learned Nipponese friend. What? And his upcoming attempt to clarify the defense's position in light of the accused's confession. Do you intend to formally assert that the experiment was nothing more than a conjuring trick? It's the moment you do, the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act that protects the professor's invention will cease to apply. The prosecution will then demand a rigorous examination of the machinery involved in order to establish the truth. However, if you acknowledge that the machine is genuine and instrumental in the victim's murder, any chance of investigating will be crushed, and the confidentiality of the professor's hypothesis preserved. I think the truth is more important.
Well, counsel, what is the defense's official position on the matter?
What Professor Harebrain, my client, actually asked of me was to prove that the explosion on stage was an accident and protect the secrecy of his hypothesis. But there's no way to do that without implying the professor's guilt. Do I protect my client's life by asserting his innocence, or do I uphold my client's request but see him condemned? Either way, I can't avoid betraying his trust. You've been silent long enough. Isn't talking your trade, my learned friend? Look, sometimes we gotta rest the voice, okay? Or has all knowledge of English escaped your confused Nipponese mind? Mr. Naruhodo! There's no escape here. I have to make a choice. But it's an impossible one. I have to give up on something, but what? The defense asserts that the defendant's instantaneous kinesis machine was in fact... we can just save over the last slot. I'm sorry, we're going with the truth, buddy. That was a trick, dude. Can he not say it? No, I can't say it. My client placed his faith in me. I can't let him down. What must I give up on is not the question you have to ask yourself here. It's what can I protect? Susie. Hello again, Mr. Naruhodo. It's been far too long. Susato-san! But what are you... Hiya! Oh! Well, that's a great how do you do. My first Susato takedown in 6 months! There'll be time to talk later, Mr. Naruhodo. For now, we must concentrate on the task at hand. Which is working out not to have what I to give up on, but what I can protect. Mr. Professor Hairbrain. Ah, yes. Yesterday you told me that science is the pursuit of truth. Well, my job is to pursue the truth too. Yes, of course. And personally, I believe that you didn't stab Mr. Assman. I think you've come to realize something yourself too, haven't you? That your experiment and the machine you built with the victim are questionable. The truth behind that is what we both must pursue now. Wah! So, you've finally opened your eyes. What? And as for you, Albert, you can't ignore this any longer. Having heard my learned friend's assertion, don't you have something to say? Baroque. Lord Van Zeeks. Gosh, I've never heard him speak that way before. Oh, you're not a ghost. No, you are real. Okay. In truth, say is one thing. Something I've remembered that's of relevance. What? On the day it happened, just before I began the experiment, I saw a man near the stage. A man holding that crossbow.
I beg your pardon?
Well, that's damningly good. Professor! Did the man have any distinguishing features? What did he look like? Tall. Taller than me, and thin. Thinner than me, with straight hair, straighter and whiter than mine. Let me see, one less lens than me to a monocle, a rather stylish black monocle. No one, okay. But one thing in particular will help to positively identify the man. You see, I know him very well. After all, he's the engineer who built my invention. Oh, well, shoot, you should have said that first. What? He built the machine? That's right. Mr. Assman introduced him to me a year ago. He's a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. Enoch Drebber. Enoch Drebber. Is that just a name from a Sherlock Holmes thing? I'm finding no pun there. At least for now. Okay, you guys know him. Okay, let me do Enoch
Drebber? Does his name mean something? Members of the jury seem flustered. Not a name any scientist wishes to hear. That man's an abomination.
And not a name any conjurer wishes to hear either. Who on earth is he?
I'm afraid this isn't the first tale of this nature that I've heard of in scientific circles in connection with this name. There's talk of other flamboyant experiments that turn out to be nothing but stage trickery in the end. Obviously, the rascal is after the government's research grant money.
When magicians are in need of money, I've heard of them resorting to these underhanded tactics. Some acquaintances of mine with experience of some such things have mentioned Enoch Drebber's name before.
The man is both an engineer and a magician, yes. We're dealing with an unparalleled confidence trickster here. That's Enoch Drebber for you.
I'm not going to Google it just in case, but... we got to go find him and investigate more, I think. So it's true then. My invention, my grand machine, it was just a grand illusion. Considering what we've just heard about Mr. Drebber's character, I'm sorry to say that sounds increasingly likely. Even though no one else believed it, I wanted to. I wanted to believe that machine would function exactly as my hypothesis predicted. Which is why you were so opposed to it being investigated, I presume. I knew that if the machine was examined in detail, its construction would give away my hypothesis. Obviously, I didn't want that to happen, but at the same time, I knew that if I was found to be nothing more than a trick, than a work of deception, then everything I've worked towards, all of my research, all of my dreams, my whole life would be over. Oh, I was terrified at the prospect. So you really had no idea then, did you? About the true nature of the machine that was built, and the true nature of Mr. Drebber. I never questioned anything. I didn't want to question it. It's entirely possible that Mr. Assman and Mr. Drebber were working together to use you as a means of fraudulently acquiring the research grant money. Was he there and then... because he's waving. Is it not a clay model? Is it actually a body double? When I announced my invention to the crowds that day, it was the finest moment in my career. Then I pulled all the levers and turned all the dials in exactly the way Drebber had described. He do be making the big suck face. When the smoke started suddenly billowing, I panicked. I didn't know what was happening. But I really don't know how the whole illusion was going to work. I don't know anything more. Let me confirm one final point with you, Professor. You now consent to the prosecution submitting the necessary paperwork to release your invention from the protection afforded by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? Yes, please go ahead. I'm very sorry.
It would appear that we shall have to suspend proceedings for the remainder of the day now. Lord Van Zeeks?
My lord?
The court has duly been made aware of another party whose involvement in this matter is critical.
Yes, Mr. Drebber.
Gather information about the man. If possible, I should like him served with a subpoena.
With pleasure, my lord.
Now, counsel for the defense.
Yes, my lord.
When we reconvene, I shall be looking for one thing and one thing alone from you. Evidence that the defendant is innocent of the crime for which he presently stands accused.
I understand.
Good. With that case, this court is adjourned until tomorrow morning.
Okay. So no, everyone else sees Sasato? She's here? This isn't a delusion? Okay, good to know. She's back! 1:36 p.m. We made it through lunchtime. Mr. Naruhodo! Yes? I'm so sorry. I was wrong, you were right. I was tricked. You trusted me. I dragged you into my mess. Oh, how did it ever come to this? I'm so sorry. Did you really have no idea, Professor? About what Mr. Drebber was really up to, I mean? About what he was really constructing? Naturally. The machine was the embodiment of my hypothesis, of all my hopes and dreams. I had complete faith in it. All right, in that case, I won't say any more. Now, sadly, the murder accusation against you still stands, so we must do as much investigation as we can, or the trial resumes tomorrow. You're trying and failing with that, huh? Well, thank you for doing so much for me. I don't know if I like this guy. Anyways, hi, welcome back. I'm so sorry for arriving late this morning, Mr. Naruhodo. Arriving late? Didn't you receive my postcard? I wanted to let you know when I'd arrive. Postcard? What postcard? I hid it from you, Runo, so it would be a surprise. Well, did it work? I was surprised, all right, especially when she threw me to the ground. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I was just so happy to see you again that it sort of slipped out. Maybe we could stick to more traditional displays of emotion in the future. Susie's train was late into London Victoria this morning, you see. But we made the coachman really whip the horse's heart so she did miss the whole trial. I was watching from the gallery for a while, but in the end, I'm afraid I couldn't contain myself. Wild they just let you do that. Well, I'm glad you didn't. Oh! Having you at my side in court gives me the strength I need to win. So, I'm delighted to see you back in London. Oh, you're too kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm delighted to be here. I hope I can continue to be of service to you. Of course. So, what's brought you back? Did Professor Mikotoba not protest? Let's save all that conversation for when we're back at home, shall we? You know, I've made one of my most special blends ever for this special occasion. Oh, Iris, how wonderful. I can't wait. I'm here too. Oh, am I not invited? Okay, I see. Sasato-san was back in London. It's hard to describe how happy that made me feel at the time, but despite my elation, our tale was about to take yet another extraordinary turn. Sounds like a big twist is coming. Yeah, to be continued. Was a good little section. I gotta say, when you remove French from the equation, I actually find it easier to jump between those accents. It's French that throws everything into a loop, you know? As always. Thank you all for watching, guys. We'll see you next time for some more great Ace Attorney as we move on to Investigation Part 2. Ciao, guys. Yo.